Not that you want to exploit your situation and stuff.
Nah, yeah. You know? I'm kind of funny style about that, you know. But I get it. What up, what up, what up? Yo. Yo. I hope everybody is good. Zoe Williams ready to get it cracking. They fixed that keyboard. I'm really happy that they did that. Boom. What up, everybody? Please come in and hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Like it up. What up? Tell everybody we up in here. What up, Empress? Ben Frank, Attila Nzinga, Phil Bradley, Wagwan. What uppers? Nazarene is up in here. What uppers? What up, what up, what up? I'm trying to shout everybody out. Everybody say what's up. What city you from? What up, what up, what up? Detroit, Houston.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I
Lil Zam.
Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hit his side of the story. So she's driving me insane.
VA. Peace, Zoe. Born in Brooklyn. Live and be more. What up, Meek is the night? Ronald. Peace and love, Zoe. Peace and y'all.
my sacrifice to the one who did do and undo.
Hey guys, my name is Danny and I'm your life and relationship coach. And I wanted to talk about the process of taking a break in a relationship. Now, I know oftentimes relationships can get a little bit tricky, right? They can get a little bit difficult to navigate, especially if you've been in a long-term relationship. So there are times in which we may not necessarily feel completely fulfilled in a relationship. There are needs that are not being met. We do not feel super happy. There's times where we just want to exit, right? But for me, the biggest thing is making sure that before you make that decision, before you make the decision to end the relationship, to get a divorce, to separate, that you really sit down and try to understand the reasons for why you are feeling that you need this space. So one of the alternative options to getting a divorce or breaking up is taking a break. So what are some of the fundamental aspects that you need to be able to, that you need to think about or consider when you are taking a break in order to make it as less complicated as possible? And one of the primary ones to begin with is total transparency, right? Being completely upfront and honest about the reasons for why you're wanting to take the break. Maybe it is because there are specific needs that are not being fulfilled in the relationship, right? So you may not feel that your partner is fully in love with you anymore. You're not really feeling the chemistry. There isn't too much intimacy. The communication is not good. Whatever the case may be, it is incredibly important that you are clear and concise and transparent with your partner before you decide to take the break. Keep in mind, honesty is always the best policy, especially in a relationship. So the other thing that I want to say before even considering the break is, have you tried everything? Have you gone through all the options? Do you feel like you have invested yourself in trying to fix the relationship? Or by
Turn him off. Turn him off. You know why? Not that I disagree. I agree with what he's saying. But nobody's playing by those rules. And then when you throw in insecure attachment styles, everything he's asking to be done, if there's only 3 insecure attachment styles, 2 of them do not like anything he said you should be doing. Dismissive avoidant and fearful avoidant. He said transparency, vulnerability, open, honest. Let's talk about it. Let me tell you exactly what's happening. No. 2 insecure attachment styles, that makes them uncomfortable. Right? If we really start peeling back the layers, that makes them uncomfortable. Right? And if you don't understand attachment theory, you might not understand why they're pulling back, right? In a moment, they need to lean in too, right? Because if we're talking about taking a pause, because if we're not stopping the relationship, we're pausing it. That means we're still in the relationship. This is a sabbatical. So what are the rules of the sabbatical? Do we get to see other people during the sabbatical? Do you want to see other people? See, when you have an insecure attachment style that's dismissive avoidant or fearful avoidant, this is prying. This is an attack. This is, you want me to talk about things that my favorite answer in difficult moments, which is, I don't know, won't suffice. Do you see? So, was he correct? Yes, he was correct, but not everybody will be able to do that, right? And I'm not dinging a dismissive avoidant or a fearful avoidant. I'm just saying that's their attachment style. And if you don't understand attachment theory, You might not understand why they view closeness, vulnerability, closeness, connection, conflict, right? You're asking a lot, right? You're asking a lot of those who have those two insecure attachment styles. And so when you're asking for the pause, or they're asking for the pause, and then you're asking for the stipulations around the pause, right? That may push them over the edge, right? Because the stipulations you're asking for might be reminiscent of everything else you've been asking for. And again, it's not to villainize, but it's very easy to say, oh, this is what should be done. Should that approach apply to dismissive avoidance or fearful avoidance? I don't think so. I think this is where the anxious preoccupied, the other of the three insecure attachment styles, has to grow up. Because the anxious preoccupied thinks leaning in and having these conversations are the end all be all. And in effect, they're not. Sometimes the anxious preoccupied has to learn how to fall back, because the dismissive avoidant or the fearful avoidant loves independence. They love their independence and they love their space. So sometimes you have to pull back to allow their fears to subside and their feelings to rise. Now, I know for anxious preoccupieds, that's like, oh my God, I'll be losing them. Tonight's topic is a doozy. The power of the pause. A deeper look at how perceived disconnection can create room for authentic reconnection. 1-800-920-1580. Weaponized pauses. The silent manipulation that sabotages relationships. The psychology of avoidance versus emotional regulation. How attachment styles influences the impact of relational pauses. The fine line between healthy detachment and emotional gaslighting. How can we differentiate between a pause meant for healing and one intended to punish or control? 1-800-920-1580. What psychological damage does intermittent avoidance cause in relationship? Do you want to talk tonight? I do. That's a powerful question. What psychological damage does intermittent avoidance cause in relationships? Are pauses always acts of self-care, or can they serve as covert emotional sabotage? I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about it. So how do you feel? I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I need time to process. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe. Potentially. Possibly. Are you listening? Weaponized pauses often trigger trauma responses, right? Conditioning partners to seek validation while suppressing their needs. True pauses for recalibration rely on transparency and accountability, not ambiguity and manipulation. Is your tank empty? You don't have the capacity? I don't know. Do you see the ambiguous answer? Read it again, Zoe. True pauses for recalibration rely on transparency and accountability, not ambiguity and manipulation. Ghosting versus pausing. Why intent matters in relationship disconnects, right? The emotional fallout of ambiguity in relationship. How ghosting exploits attachment wounds. Can pausing ever feel as painful as being ghosted? 1-800-920-1580. Does the intent behind a pause truly matter if the emotional impact mirrors abandonment? 1-800-920-1580. I know you've dealt with it. I know a lot of us have. I'm still going to argue most people are insecurely attached. All right? All right? How does an individual's attachment style shape their perception of pause versus ghosting? 1-800-920-1580. Are pauses always ethical, or do they blur the lines when uncommunicated? Yeesh. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. You already know what it is. Ghosting exploits emotional uncertainty, while pausing, when done ethically, requires courage and self-awareness. The key difference lies in communication. Honest communication, transparent communication. Ghosting is avoidance. Pausing is responsibility. 1-800-920-1580. Pausing as a spiritual discipline. Healing through disconnection. How about we pause our relationship? We don't stop it. We pause it. Let's give ourselves 30 days. You know, people can't give themselves 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Hey, let's give ourselves some time. You know why? Because we lack the discipline to maintain the course that we're supposed to be on, the purpose of the pause, meaning I'm pausing to work on myself. And while you're working on yourself, you meet Bobby at Ralph's. And there's a vibe. I wasn't even trying to meet nobody. But you weren't trying to stay on purpose either, because that requires discipline. So to take a pause requires discipline, right? I'm not going to entertain Bobby, right, until I reconcile whatever issue I may have internally and externally with George. Do you see? But that requires self-discipline, right? Women get on men for lacking self-discipline, right, when it comes to sex. What about when it comes to attention, ladies? What about when it comes to validation? When it comes to fawning? I know you don't want to hear me put it that way. I know. But I'm here to tell y'all the truth tonight. 1-800-920-1580. When I come forward, you think this setup is done? It is not. We're going to keep cooking. Fetch that faithfulness is crazy. That's crazy. Everybody hit that like button. I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying they don't. Everybody hit the like button. Come on, come on, come on. Like it up, 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 like it. No, you're right. You're right, Melody. You're right. You should call in. I don't know why you don't call in, Melody. You should. Everybody should call in. Everybody hit the like button, 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 hit the like button. Let's go. This is once again dead on. GC54, call in here. Happy Thursday, everyone. Because I'm a scary ass. We come on, it's 2025. How long do you think I will be alive? Take advantage. I could have been spending the night at my Uncle Marvin's house. Right? His house burned down. I could have been there. Let's not take for granted what's in front of us. Okay, I see y'all jumping in. Justin. Russell Herbal's lost everything. I'm bringing him on the show. We're going to do a fundraiser for him and several others. I got a big show coming up on Monday. I got a former senator coming in for California. I got, they're coming in to do to talk about resources and what's available. I got a bunch of families literally coming in, and we're going to be featuring their GoFundMe pages. And this is why I'm saying, like, listen, y'all think I be on y'all head, but really I'm not. Like, listen, I say we named the support system Twos and Fews. Why? Because I wanted individuals to give as little as they could. Why? Because if you have, like, it's 58 people in here. 58 people gave $5. 58 times 5. So that's a bigger impact. Sometimes some people will do $20, $50, $100, And I'm saying, I'm thankful, I'm grateful. But we got to get in the mindset of collective action. If all of Black America said, nope, y'all not finna do this to Altadena. If all of Black America said, don't worry about it, we got it. Every household, Black, put $100 on it. 14 million people?
You have said that when one is attached, there is no love.
Wait, I'm sorry. You got to play that one more time. Just, first off, I love Krishnamurti, but I know you guys struggle with his accent. But what he just said, most of us are not going to agree with this. I'm trying to recontextualize these preconceived ideas, these notions, the standards, the baseline principles from psychology, philosophy, spirituality. Listen to what he said. If you could just take the first 4 words out of his mouth and just digest that. Play it again.
You have said that when one is attached, there is no love.
understand this, but there are moments of love in which there is no separation, no desire, no thought. And yet these moments often come in connection with a person to whom one is attached. Attachment seems to create a form, a boundary, within which there are moments of love. Though attachment is not love, in some mysterious way, the two are linked. They seem self-contradictory. Please go into this apparent paradox. You have said, sorry, the question is a bit long. You have said that when one is attached, there is no love. I understand this, but there are moments of love in which there is no separation, no desire, no thought, and yet these moments often come in connection with a person to whom one is attached. Attachment seems to create a form, a boundary within which there are moments of love. Though attachment is not love, in some mysterious way, the two are linked. They seem self-contradictory.
Listen, man. Everybody is born with an attachment style. And the majority of those attachment styles are insecure. And then the Buddha says, the root of suffering is attachment. You modeled your childhood, so you're being conditioned from birth, conditioned to attachment, conditioned to suffering. You have an attachment style. So to pause a relationship for many people is to end it or to be rejected. Why can't we build in to relationships, the construct, the ideological framework of it? Why can't we build into relationship seasonal fasting from each other? Which is pause. We stay together, we honor the relationship, but we fast from each other. We detox from the attachment. Right? We spend that time working on self, conquering aspects of who we are that we have yet to fully accept, embrace, and empathize with. Can the pause be used for that? But you're so damn broken that you can't be away from your partner without feeling abandoned, rejected, and cheated on. What are you doing? I haven't heard from you. Oh yeah, even the avoidant types, after their fear subsides, their feelings arise. And after some time, they begin to think, where are they? Oh, when we come forward, more hot lava upside your speaker box. Yo, are we cooking? Are we cooking? That's asking someone to be mature, and some just don't have it. Wow. Empress, y'all got to call in with these comments. I love the chat. If you want to support the show, you go down to the bottom of the chat. There's a little $sign. Drop twos and fews. If you want to give it to me directly, go to my Cash App. My Cash App is $ZoWhatNetter. 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 Quiet quitting your relationship is not a... Man, where are the phone calls? Get in here. If you're enjoying the behind the scenes, let's keep the support rolling. Twos and fews. Please hit the Cash App, $ZoWhatNetter, or the Super Chat. I appreciate you guys for doing that. I appreciate you guys for all the moderators for putting in the information. Man, I've had a long day. Yes, I do. I've had a long day. Me and my daughter, we got up early and we went to Pasadena. This was my first time in Pasadena. I was on Dominique DePrima's show. They asked me to come on and talk. Man, like 9, 10 of my family members came. Oh my God, my auntie came. My 80-year-old auntie was in the building talking shit. And you know, they see my daughter, they turn up. My uncles was in the building. It was crazy. They showed up talking crazy. Man, we happy this dude is alive. That's my uncle. You know how bad this dude was? Do you know how crazy this one is? This one right here? So he got to tell basketball stories. He was 12 years old. He scored 40 points in the first half. Then he decided to quit. Quit in the middle of the game. I said, Unc, tell the truth, man. I didn't quit. I did not quit. The boy scored 40 points at 12 years old. Then he quit. I said, Unc, I didn't quit. Tell the whole story. Okay, then what's the story? I said, you told me, okay, you scored 40 points. I want you to sit down next to me so the other kids can play. And I didn't like that. So I said, okay, I'm going to go home. That's what happened. Then he was like, we 6, 7 miles from his house. I came to get him. How you gonna go home? And I was like, what did I do, Unc? You left the gym, you walked on. I said, that's exactly what happened. So he in here telling stories. I'm like, hey man, like every situation doesn't call for like, do you know who he was when he was a kid? Every situation don't call for family stories. These are stories. So my daughter over there rolling. She over there like, they're like, oh, they on your head. She over there crying. You know who he was? Do you know who your daddy was? See, you know your daddy. You don't know my nephew. They in there wilding. So then my aunt tell a story. I remember when I beat your dad with a broom. Well, he didn't do nothing. I didn't beat him because he did something. I beat him because I thought he was my son. Because my son had been running away. So I came into the room one night and he was on the floor, covered in a blanket. I thought that was my son. And I didn't check. And I just started whacking him. My daughter is balled up on the ground, crying. She, yeah. Oh man, it was crazy. She said, but I love your daddy. I love him. Mm-hmm. It was wild as hell. She 80, so And here's the cold part. In all of them, I see my mother. They all look like my mom. So there's nothing I can say. I'm just like, all right.
The heart of a contemporary spiritual practice is being totally engaged with our lives. Forests, rivers, polluted cities don't care about your enlightenment. What they care about is your aliveness to present experience, your action in the world, and the effects of your actions. And one of the terms in spiritual practice that is so misleading is this idea of non-attachment. So many times people hear the word non-attachment and they think of kind of dissociation. I'm not going to be attached to how things are. Nothing moves me. And then, you walk around like a zombie. And in a way, I came to spiritual practice at a time of really turbulent emotion in my life. And I really thought that practice, and meditation especially, would become a way to kind of, get out of feeling. But actually, things don't really work that way. And non-attachment doesn't mean just not being attached to your bicycle or your apartment or your bank account. Non-attachment means not clinging to fixed ideas, not clinging to the way you think things should be, but actually opening to the way things really are. So I would translate non-attachment as engagement. Non-attachment is a deep intimacy to see the way that everything leans into everything else.
But do you see what he's explaining? I think if we recontextualize pause, right? Pausing in relationship, right? Not as separation, but as recalibration. Relational fasting. Right? Where we can detox from some of the negative behaviors, ideas, and thoughts that are potentially being reflected back and forth to one another. I think if we start doing that, right, we can preempt or prevent an eventual breakup collapse, right? Where it just didn't work. I had to move on. And hurt feelings, sad feelings, whatever it might be, right? How can pauses mirror the spiritual principle of non-attachment? Non-attachment is not the same as indifference. It's not the same as rejection. It's not the same as abandonment. It's I'm present, but I'm not attached to the outcome, right? We talked about this in another show, right? Can pausing a relationship be seen as an act to further spiritual growth rather than be a type of rejection? How can mindfulness practices help transform the discomfort of relational pauses? Why are pauses uncomfortable to you? That's your homework, right? Do you see? What does it mean to practice radical self-awareness during a pause? It's a pause. It's not a breakup. Let's change it from pause to it's a fast, right? Because when you guys are close, your attachment wounds are triggered. So in a way, you're fasting from the triggering of the attachment wounds, especially if you're not doing the work. Disconnection, when intentional, is an act of preparation for deeper connection. True or false? Agree or disagree? Let me say it again. Disconnection, when intentional, is an act of preparation for deeper connection. The teachings of Rumi and Thich Nhat Hanh offer profound frameworks for navigating relational voids with grace. Do you see? I'm not in a power struggle with you, and you're not in a power struggle with me. We have wounds, attachment wounds, that are in that power struggle, that have literally possessed us. We are under their dominion. And until we take the time to go in and say, why am I triggered this way? Where did this come from? Is it my partner, or is it the trigger that I'm looking at, the filter of the trigger that I'm looking at my partner through? Do you understand? It's heavy stuff. We got Nzinga from Pensacola, Florida. Nzinga! What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
That's a good topic. I think that the most mature thing that two people in a relationship can do is realize when, okay, you might need to put a pin in this and just take a pause.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like are women just like are women just like some gaping hole for a man's pleasure?
Ooh.
And I asked, but no, because I asked this because it just seems like the assumed pause and not ghosting. I'm talking about a pause. Is just to have sex with somebody else. To me, it's almost like bordering some type of paranoia.
Right.
I mean, good sex in a relationship is very good, but that's not the only building block in a relationship.
Right.
Might be the glue that can hold something together when you should have been broke up a long time ago.
No, you're right. Let me just answer that for you. I've been there. I've been the person that said, oh, we're on a break? Good. It's spring break. I'm about to spring into action. I've been that guy. And I understand exactly what you're saying. And I'm going to say, if you were with me and I did that to you, that should be a huge red flag for you. You should be able to look at that and go, wow, that's really what he's on. Right? Let's just be honest, right? And I could have been on that to distract myself. I could have been on that out of greed. I could have been on that out of a sense of elation, like, oh, I'm free to do whatever I want. I was in prison in that relationship. Whatever the reason, right? Whatever the excuse, right? At the end of the day, if I'm and I learned this through failure. So if I'm prioritizing the connection with the person, I'm going to implement a discipline that says, yes, I could have it if I want it. Yes, I can go get it if I want it. However, do I want it bad enough to ruin this? Do you see?
And because, yes, I do see, because when with a pause, not ghosting, there is a sense or the assumption now we're going to come back, we're going to circle back.
Right.
I saw there's a page on, like, it's one of my favorite pages called Meet Cuties in New York City, and it's a gentleman. He goes around and he asks people. He sees people walking together, coupled, you know, 2 and 2s. Are you a couple? Are you a couple? And today it's so funny that this topic, because today they featured 2 people who met each other outside a club. I think she said she was 16, and they've been together cumulatively, I think, 26 years, 30 years, something like that, but they took a break. And never in my mind, when I was watching them, when I was listening, did I think anything about sex. To me, I thought maybe it was 2 young people realizing, okay, there's some things I need to do for myself right now. Because when you're in a relationship, you know, sometimes you have to take a pause so that way you can get grounded and then come back and sometimes be a better partner.
So let's be careful, because you're bringing up some great points, but I just want to just shift it a little bit, just a little. Let's be careful of the spells we cast. We're not leaving each other. We're taking a break. We're pausing. The relationship is not over. We are still together. Right? But we're just going into ourselves. Now, to go back to the point you mentioned, many men are wasting time chasing other opportunities based on the aforementioned reasons and excuses that I gave. That energy should be placed into self-inquiry. Do you see? So I just want you to remember, for many men who do that, that's why I said that's what they're on. And a lot of men are not aware that they should be on the self-inquiry road when you guys agree to pause.
So what you said,
I've been there.
Self-inquiry, in my head, that's what a pause is for.
Right.
In my head, I never, you know, it didn't cross my mind that I'm gonna be sneaking off with somebody else. Why he's over here, you know, trying to do whatever he's doing, just so when we hit the play button again, you know, we're back in sync and it's just much better. And I just, sometimes it just feels like it's a lack of accountability when you view a pause to recalibrate as a you know, expedition to someone's wild oats.
Wait, stay with me. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere, because you cooking right now. Do you agree or disagree with Nzinga from Pensacola, Florida? Get to your phone lines, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we'll get the rest of her thought. Yeah. Y'all calling? Are you calling? Where's my brother? John Gilbreth. Where's Tapped In? We need Deaconess. Where's everybody? Come on. Where's my nephew? Pretty Brown Mimi. Where you at? I have a friend that was on a break and started dating another. See? So it happens. Yeah. We got 2 Cash Apps, Lloyd Hinton and mine. This is my first time hearing a pause. Mrs. Denise, call in. Let's talk about it. Who's that? Marguerite Tate. What up? What up? Carolina 1. I just got here, pimp. What's going on today? Topic is on fire. Topic is on fire. You might need a minute. I think it's mine, M-I-I-N-E. Topic is on fire. Y'all should be in here. Yeah, we got 2 Cash Apps, so I appreciate that. Yeah, that's how you spell it. Yep. And we got 2 super chats. We got $4 in the super chat. Herschel, what up? Hey, Zoe, happy Thursday. You pause tapes, movies on TV, not real. Ooh, the counterpoint. I love it. I love it. The counterpoint. You know, I'm a contrarian too. I love it. Come on. And I know Attila should be in here. I don't even know what is going on. Where is Attila? This your topic. This is getting disrespectful. I don't know what to say. It's not easy to be faithful when on a pause. Mimi, you gonna speak up? I know you out. Keep cutting up.
When an avoidant has their fears triggered, they do what is called deactivation. Deactivation is when they take their feelings, they take their emotions, they stuff them, they bury them, they suppress them, they don't process their feelings, and they run from problems. This is why they are called avoidants. These fears are the fears of abandonment, rejection, and engulfment. The fear of engulfment actually ties into the fear of abandonment because they fear losing themselves in a relationship to somebody who's ultimately going to abandon and reject them. So deactivation is the way they keep themselves safe by avoiding painful emotions, by avoiding self-reflection, and avoiding the problems altogether. When they're triggered in a relationship, part of this deactivation includes pushing a partner away, creating emotional distance. Because when emotional intimacy builds, that is what triggers these fears. That's what triggers the fears of abandonment, rejection, and engulfment. It all goes back to childhood when the avoidant was emotionally neglected by their parents or caretakers. This is a person that learned that emotional intimacy, emotional closeness leads to abandonment. That is why growing and building emotional intimacy in a relationship in a healthy way is precisely what triggers their fears. Because they fear as you get closer, you're going to figure out you're too good for them and you're going to reject and abandon them. Ways that they can create emotional distance, it does include discarding a partner and running away from the relationship altogether, but they can still do deactivation strategies to create that distance while they're still in the relationship. Cheating is a very common deactivation strategy. It's hard to be truly emotionally intimate with a partner that you're cheating on. When you're betraying this person, it kills off emotional intimacy. Gaslighting, creating tension in the relationship, another way to create emotional distance. fault finding in a partner, looking for any tiny little fault in your partner, criticizing them for it, and convincing yourself that they're not good enough, that this won't work. When you're constantly nitpicking somebody, when you're criticizing them, it's hard to create emotional intimacy while you're doing that. It's a method to push someone away. Ghosting is another thing that they'll do. Just disappearing for days. Hard to be emotionally intimate with somebody that is not replying to you. It helps them feel safe. It keeps that emotional distance. Now, stonewalling is another common deactivation strategy. When they're just stonewalling you, hard to be emotionally intimate with the person doing that.
Come on. We together, but it's on pause anyway. With all of those deactivation strategies, right? Is it abandonment or alchemy? The transformative potential of relational pauses. I'm calling these relational pauses. I'm calling it attachment fasting, right? So that we can work internally on our emotional attunement skills. We have to be emotionally tuned to our own needs so that we can be emotionally present and attuned to the needs of our partners. And the more we are present emotionally to ourselves, emotionally attuned to our own needs, right? The less, just let me just do this. If two people are tapped in the pause, emotionally attuned to what they need, they come back healthier, they come back fuller, then we are not necessarily leaning on our partners to give us what we're lacking. Do you see? Let me get my good friend Nzinga back in here for her final thought. Nzinga, please give me your final thought on this.
That was really it though. Just sometimes pauses are necessary. I mean, everybody might not agree, but like I said, it's not always an indication that we're stepping out.
Right.
Sometimes you just need to, recalibrate and get it together.
Man, I love Nzinga. Nzinga.
Good night, y'all.
Hey, wait a minute. What did you just do? She gone. Lord have mercy. Well, we love Nzinga. Anyway, Nzinga, call in anytime. You already know what it is. This is deep, though. Healing abandonment wounds through conscious disconnection. Reframing pauses as portals for emotional growth. Why the fear of pauses reflect deeper scarcity beliefs. Oh my goodness, when we come forward, we got more callers on the line. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me right now. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. Trust me, we've got a lot to talk about. I love it. My man said, pause is the kiss of death, mafia style. Ooh. You know I can't wait for Nikki to call. No, Nikki's in here. Wait a minute, she already called. Some treat a pause like a hallway pass. I love it. I ain't even gonna lie. These topics have been fire this week. This week, we gotta stop using the word fire. Lava? No, I see you, Nikki. I just looked up. I see you. Nzinga just hung up. I was trying to get Nzinga's catchphrase together. Nzinga was like, get on off here. Get off my line, man. We killed the game for sure. Zoe cooking up right now for sure. Come on, let's do it. She pressed pause. I pressed stop eject button. That's funny. Thorough topics for sure. Jumper. Whoosh. Hey, them dudes, my oldest son, they 2-0 in the tournament. They beaten all the teams that were ranked above them. I'm really excited about it. I was doing the show, but I had Prima watching the game and texting me, you know, the stats and the score. What happened to Denise? We saw you, Denise. What happened? Denise, get back in here. Well, hold on one second. Denise was in here. Zoe, are you in a safe area away from the fires? Okay, cool. He's got the lines paused for right now because he went to use the bathroom. But when he comes back, call. I'm in, let's say, Inglewood. I'm Inglewood adjacent, right? Where I live is right next to Santa Monica. Santa Monica is right next to Pacific Palisades. So you heard earlier in the week, the fire moved into Brentwood. Palisades, the fire has been contained a little bit more. So to answer your question, simply, yes, I'm close to one of those fires. But because the winds have subsided, today was the last day that we had the red flag warnings. The winds have subsided. Firefighters have been able to get a bit of a hold on this fire. It's not totally contained. I think it's around 35-40% contained, which is good. When they get to that point, that means they can stop it from progressing forward, because it was coming south.
Relationship is in trouble, I'm who you call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes? Financial infidelity? I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy. How about the heavy stuff? The child wasn't here, and you still had to pay child support. It's a very heated topic. How is that right? Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I don't like the kids. There's something wrong with them. Damn. He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant. Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with a bad touch routine. How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
How do you write women so well?
So Williams. Reason and accountability. The voice of reason.
If you notice in yourself that there's a part of you that at times might self-sabotage relationships, maybe because you feel yourself get anxious, or you feel like your mind spins and it considers all these possibilities, or maybe you get triggered and you explode and then later you regret it and you think, what am I doing? Today I'm going to share with you a rarely discussed reason why we self-sabotage, and share with you a psychological tool that you can use to overcome it. Because when we're in a new great relationship and our heart is opening and we're expanding, it's really common, actually, that for all of us to go through patterns of wanting to maybe push back, pull back, or sabotage the relationship. The difference is those who can overcome that self-sabotage know how to use this particular tool. So what does self-sabotage look like? Well, let me give you an example. One of my clients recently is very self-aware, and she said, Matt, I know that I self-sabotage. How can I manage this? I'm dating this guy. Things are going really well. He went away for the weekend, and my mind is just spinning. He was late when he was going to text me back. He's back in town. Now he wants to connect. I'm feeling this energy of wanting to kind of push him away. That's classic self-sabotage. self-sabotage. No relationship is perfect, so maybe he breaks an agreement or is kind of late to call or text, and the mind thinks, well, he might be off with somebody else, and you get jealous inside, and so you don't communicate it, but you push him away, you punish him, so he feels that you've pulled back, so he pulls back, and the two of you argue, and then in the beginning of the relationship, because there isn't a strong enough connection, the thing kind of dissolves away and disintegrates. That's self-sabotage. So let me give you another example. Maybe you're going to meet your boyfriend for dinner, and they had to stay late at work, and so they're a few minutes late to dinner, maybe 15, 20 minutes late, and for whatever reason that just triggers you. And so you want to be nice, but you just feel angry at your boyfriend, and so you kind of stay quiet all night, you're a little bit cold throughout dinner, and then when they bring it up, you explode on them and you lay into them and you say, you always stay out late, your work is always a priority over us, and like you say things that you regret, they say things they regret, and it creates distance and a wedge in that relationship. So what can you do if you're finally in a great relationship to make sure that a self-sabotage pattern doesn't get the best of this relationship? Well, one of my mentors, his name is Dr. Gay Hendricks, is a PhD from Stanford. He came up with this beautiful psychological principle called the upper limit problem. Just like a thermostat. Imagine a thermostat in your home, and you set that thermostat to a certain temperature. If the temperature in that room gets too hot, the thermostat registers that, it kicks in air conditioning, brings the temperature back into the range that you set. Temperature of the room gets too cold, thermostat senses it, kicks on the heater, brings it back up to the temperature that you set it. Well, you and I have a thermostatic setting for the amount of love that we allow and experience in our lives. This thermostatic setting lives in our subconscious mind. Every one of us has a thermostatic setting for the amount of love, positive energy, joy, happiness that we feel. And here's what's wild. If whatever your normal is, if you exceed that because you're in a new amazing relationship, and so you're experiencing more intimacy, you're experiencing more joy, more love, your amount of positive energy goes up, your thermostat, because it hasn't been recalibrated yet, will go off and say, whoop, 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 we've got more love than we're used to, and it will kick in the air conditioner, so to speak, your self-sabotage, to bring that love right back down into normal. So step number one, how do you spot it? You implement a principle called notice what you're noticing. And so you become aware of what you're noticing as it's happening. You become aware of the thoughts that you're thinking. Are they aligned with what you want? Of the feelings that you're having? And here's what you notice.
Notice what you're noticing. Sounds like self-awareness. Be aware of yourself, how you're showing up, how everything that you're noticing is affecting you. Being able to see things objectively and not through the lens of your attachment wounding. Facing the discomfort of disconnection reveals unhealed attachment wounds. We're talking about it tonight. The gray area of relational pauses. Growth, manipulation, or avoidance. When pauses are necessary versus when they are misused. 1-800-920-1580. Recognizing emotional manipulation hidden behind needing space. How does monkey branching tie into that? 1-800-920-1580. How unspoken boundaries complicate relationship pauses, right? Can pauses be both a healthy coping mechanism and a toxic behavior? How does emotional clarity prevent pauses from devolving into avoidance? Are frequent pauses in relationship a sign of toxicity or resilience? Communication is the cornerstone of ethical pauses, preventing relational harm. True or false? Do you agree or disagree with that concept? I'll say it again, true or false? Communication is the cornerstone of ethical pauses, preventing relational harm. Do you agree or disagree? Radical accountability during relational pauses. right? Healing your triggers without blame. Taking ownership of your emotional responses during pauses. I guess if you got something meaningful to do internally, you won't be that easily distracted, right? In a perfect world. How do you discern between a legitimate relational trigger and an unresolved personal wound? 1-800-920-1580. We got people on the line. I want to get them in here right now. John, Mountain View. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
First off, greetings and blessings to the chat. Making sure that prayers go out to California. And also, thank you for a week worth of beatings.
A week worth of beatings? These are beatings, Pastor John?
Well, again, I call them beatings because they're meetings of the mind and they're missions of the soul. And yes, they hurt. But nonetheless.
All right, I got you.
Ghosting or pausing? Like DNA testers, diamond testers?
Here we go. Come on. I'm listening.
I'm asking the question, what is it like to do that?
No, I think a pause is good. I see it as a chance to reset oneself, right? And I do believe that accountability, authenticity, transparency, honesty, these are all things I learned after not doing them, right? I think all of these things are important if you need this time for yourself to kind of recalibrate, to look at yourself. Again, relationships, especially, if you go back to, I think, show number 2 of this week, and I talked about how we were talking about effort, right? And I was talking about how the effort isn't in the relationship, the effort is in oneself, right? So if you get what I'm saying? So if you take the pause to put in the effort to deal with you, attachment wounds, fear, abandonment issues, all of the idiosyncrasies within your own spirit. If you take that time to deal with that, now go back to shows even further back when I say, hey, you need some self-victories. So during these pauses, right, I think it's important to be able to come back to the relationship with a victory or two, or maybe just one. Do you see what I'm saying? I think you'd be better. I think both partners would be better. I think now we can connect. And remember, the pause is based on this ethical conversation we had. What is that ethical conversation? The pause doesn't mean the relationship is over, right? The pause means this is us going off into our corners to deal with ourselves for an agreed upon amount of time. And then we come back refreshed, renewed, reinvigorated. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Doc, it all makes sense. But back to the diamond tester and the DNA test. Just like the boundary or having this pause or ghosting.
Mm-hmm.
It's only effective and you're not scared if it's true in you.
Ooh, that's why I wasn't going to answer your question, because I knew you was. Keep going. You're not finna pull me into your spider web, John. I see you, man. Come on.
The truth of the matter is just like the scale that we use as a thermometer for those of y'all who live on the cold climate is using the heat, and those of us who are living in calmer and quieter situations. It's still the same scale. The truth of the matter is, are you going to use it properly or not?
Right.
You're going to abuse this thing, use it to its greatest degree because you're selfish, or are you going to use this to the greater good of all of us in the house?
But that depends on the two people we're talking about, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your pause or your ghosting. Let's use the term not ghosting. Let's call it taking the knee. Let's call it turtle shelling. Let's also call it monk work. The simple fact is, these fastings that we need, they're necessary. They're vital. They're good. Are you going to use them right?
Right.
And there it is.
Man,
Mississippi guy.
you already know Mississippi finna act up. I already know Mississippi about to act up, brother. But let me just say this. Guess what you just did, my friend?
Salute to all again. Blessings for the folks in Cali. Mountain View's in the house.
Mountain View is in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, like Denise, she's a new caller. Hey, Denise, now's the time to call in. She called in, she hung up, she called back. Come on, Denise, get back in here. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. Listen, the power of the pause. A deeper look at how perceived disconnection can create room for authentic reconnection, right? Human relationships, man, they need pauses, right? Pauses are often dismissed as ominous precursors to disconnection, abandonment, or failure. However, a closer examination reveals their profound potential as alchemical spaces for healing, transformation, and authentic reconnection, a deepening of connection. When approached consciously. Pauses can serve as a mirror reflecting unresolved wounds, unmet needs, and the often subconscious dynamics that underline our interpersonal and intrapersonal lives. For the last hour and 20 minutes, we explored the dual nature of pauses, both as tools for growth and as mechanisms of avoidance, and examining the radical accountability necessary to transcend their potential for harm, right? A pause in a relationship, unlike ghosting or avoidance, is deliberate, communicative, and purposeful, right? It is not a termination, but a suspension designed to provide space for reflection, recalibration, and personal growth. Attachment theory, as explored by John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth and 1,000 others, right, underscores the critical role of attachment styles in shaping how pauses are perceived and navigated. For instance, individuals with anxious attachment may interpret a pause as rejection or abandonment, while avoidantly attached individuals may use pauses as a pretext for emotional detachment. Thus, the intent behind a pause is paramount. It is a gateway to deeper intimacy or a shield against vulnerability. When we come forward, you already know who we about to talk to. Y'all know who she is. You better know. Nikki from the SIP, the deaconess from Mississippi, about to give us some food for thought. A platypus. Can you guys hear me? Testing 1 2 1 2. Can you hear?
Hey, Zo, was you going to the men's bathroom still, or was you?
I went in there.
You in the female?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, ours is broken.
That shit ain't broken. Some motherfuckers don't know how to fix that shit.
Oh, I get you.
Because they keep on flooding and shit like that.
I get you.
But Russell and his folks had came here and probably didn't know what to do.
So they dropped a whole burrito in
You
there.
already know.
That's what happened. Somebody dropped a straight up burrito
We know.
and it just fucked up the bathroom. I know what happened. Somebody dropped a hamburger, a 97-pound hamburger in that motherfucker.
And the whole roll of toilet paper.
That's what happened. You bet Zoe didn't have no mask on? What are you talking about? Yeah, somebody nuked the toilet. That's what happened. The commode. Somebody dropped a whole Easter basket in that motherfucker. Bow! A spice log of meatloaf.
Friday night. We've started a new series on how some of the coping patterns and strategies for a child who's not safe, their survival tools, they actually become patterns in adult life that become maladaptive and start to do a lot of damage to themselves and to relationships. But then the people find that they're like prisons. They want to get out of them, but they can't get out of them. Something resists getting out of them. There's safety and a sense of normality there that keep them stuck in these very destructive patterns. And today what I want to do is look at abandonment. So abandonment is one of the deepest wounds that comes out of complex trauma. And because of that, the child develops extreme ways of coping to try to make sure it'll never happen again. And those ways become, in adult life, very destructive, and they actually prevent healthy relationships. And they do a lot of damage within healthy relationships. But yet, what the person finds is, because of that abandonment wound, they expect everybody to abandon them, and then they actually set up relationships so that they will be abandoned. So they actually start creating abandonment, or they pick people who aren't emotionally available who will abandon them. And so they find themselves hating abandonment, never wanting it to happen, but creating abandonment. So they're stuck in a loop which is actually a prison for them. So that's what I want to look at this evening, and I hope it will really help you, because so many people who have this life trap don't even know that they have it. They just begin to realize that they're doing extreme amount of damage. But then when they go to change and know they want to change, something in them resists changing, and they don't change, and they're stuck.
Wow. I think he broke it down. Did he break it all the way down? It was broken down to the very last compound. We have our resident deaconess on the phone right now. Nikki from Mississippi, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Wow. We went from love to fasting time.
Come with it, Nikki. Come with it.
I don't understand. Now, everybody remember I'm secure, so I'm not now. But I thought the relationship purpose was supposed to be so to become one, we grow together.
Mm-hmm.
If we're pausing, but let's assume, I don't understand what world that we're going in, but let's assume two people agree to pause. And when you fast, part of that process is cleansing.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell me about pausing and fasting, what I'm going to get cleansed from is you.
Ooh. Say word. Keep going. Keep going, Nikki.
In the spirit place, if you tell me that you need the pause or time away apart to deal with something, in my mind, one or the other needs to deal with something more than the other partner. So if you need that, then we need a clean break for you to go deal with what you need to deal with. And that's okay. It'll hurt me, I'm going to miss you. All that's fine. When you fast, you are now putting yourself under the most pressure in the spirit realm that you can possibly be under.
Wait. Stay right there. When you fast, you are putting yourself under the heaviest weight in the spirit realm that you could possibly carry. Stay right there. When we come forward, we're going back to Mississippi because Nikki is about to drop one on us. Nikki cooking. Why end it to the same thing you do on a fast? Stop and Zinga. Read the chat. No pun intended. Y'all wildin'. Y'all still talking bowel movements. Super bowel pocket. That's what y'all on. Hey, Pastor John, thank you for the YouTube super chat. Thank you guys. We're at $29.94. You already know when we come back, we're going to have a little under 20 minutes to go in the show. But yeah, if you guys want to go to my Cash App, we still only have 2 Cash Apps. If you guys want to go to my Cash App to support tonight's topic, if the topic is worth supporting, I think we have taken a very nuanced and duplicitous approach. When I say duplicitous, I don't mean in a negative sense, but in a dualistic sense, right? A bidirectional approach to this topic where the pause is good or the pause can be weaponized for bad. Again, my perspective is relationships are about closeness, right? Interconnectedness as well as interdependence, So I don't lose myself in the connection. You don't lose you in the connection, right? And there's this together but separate while being together kind of modality. So it's very interesting. I love all of the perspective that you guys are sharing, and I think it's dope.
The biggest pressure is that fast.
Ooh,
Is that fast
ooh.
if we're having intentions of coming back together?
That's what Nikki's saying. That's what she's saying. She agreed with you.
It sounded like she said, like, it's over though.
She's saying because of that pressure, like you need to go on, figure out what's up with you for why you need the damn fast.
There gotta be some empathy in that though, right?
If you need to fast, she's saying tie up your shoes
and just go.
Get up on out of
here.
here.
So in other words, there's no coming back.
That's what Nikki's saying.
And see, I hear that.
Nikki said, you need to fast? Oh, I got to fast for you.
I hear that. And I
you got to fast, Carl.
I think to fast and to be able to come together, that's going to take two strong individuals.
Sure.
You know?
But Nikki taking off from the free throw line.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
with a blindfold on.
In that though.
Nikki not playing right now.
Respect.
That's where Nikki at. I admit the fear of receiving that level of love only to lose it. Ooh, get in here, Ronan. Ronan, where you at then? Hey, Ronan, if you scared, go to church. Don't be scared. You can't be scared. Let her cook. I'm letting her cook. What are you talking about? Suge Mac 510, what up? If it's real love, it's not lost. Come on, Nikki. Suge Mac 510. Yay, area. Tell the people that 40 water is back. Ooh. Man, stop. You guys are going too far. Yay, yay. Then get in here, Attila. I'm tired.
Dear Sadhguruji, I have a question for you. I'm a very emotional person and I often find it very difficult to emotionally detach myself from a situation that I know that is not good for me. Like I can see that this is not going somewhere where I want it to go, but it's very difficult to divert my mind and my emotions away from that. How do you think I can handle that situation? I would really like to know your perspective on it.
There's a whole lot of talk in the world about, the head and the heart business, but the way you think is the way you feel.
And the way you feel is the way you think. For different people, different things run first. For some people, their thoughts, today largely because of the type of education, for most people, their thoughts run ahead of their emotions. But still there is a sizable percentage of people for whom their emotions run ahead of their thought. Now what Sonaxi is asking is, there are situations that you don't wish to be in, but the emotions are tangled up. So thought keeps going there, unknowingly you keep walking in a direction. What you need to understand is, thought is agile. Today my thought says she is the most wonderful person. Tomorrow, if she does something that I don't like, immediately my thought says she is no good. But if my emotions have gone ahead with this wonderful person, emotions are not that agile. They cannot turn around so quickly. It's a little sappy. It takes time. In the meantime, you struggle because thought says this is not okay, but emotion is still entangled. Now what do I do about this? Don't try to control your emotions or thoughts, because the very nature of your mind is such that I don't want to think about this person means that's the only person I'm going to think about for the rest of my life. So when compulsive thoughts and emotions come, first and foremost thing that you do is you simply see them for what they are.
Sadhguru, I love it. He said thoughts are agile, and he said emotions are not. That was a very interesting take he took there. I want to know where Nikki stands, because Nikki was already cooking, and I want to get her thought on where she left off. Very powerful stuff she was saying. She was like, nope, if you need space, if you need to pause, you need to pack your things and go. You need to bounce like bad checks. Talk to me, Nikki. Why is that your position?
Because in the spirit place, if you decide that we need to pause and we agree, you are in an emotional place because you got to go deal with whatever made you think we needed to pause. I may or may not be in that place. Every girl in the red dress and man that smells good is showing up when you fast. I smell bacon, I smell barbecue, I want a hamburger, I don't need to eat cows, all that.
Right.
So what you are inviting in the fast, the universe is going to say, okay, let's test you in faith if we can work this out. Now, while you're doing that, working it out over there with you doing whatever, and I'm not saying you're being tempted beyond your ability to say no, but you are being sweated while you're over there. I, who may not have been in the same location you were in, deciding to take the pause, I'm doing the same thing now because I agree, because it's us. But what I'm getting in the spirit cleansed from in that test is you. Now, whether or not the universe blesses us to come back together, we don't know yet. But it is not fair, just, or to becoming one for you to emotionally hold me in this place of pause.
So let me be clear.
Can stay there.
Let me be clear. Are you saying the pause is a holding pattern? That was very interesting. Please continue.
It is, because we haven't left the relationship, is what you said. But we took a step away. Okay, that's a holding pattern.
Come on.
Which is why the fast becomes so much more challenging, because everything else in the atmosphere is now going to press that place. And if you are a secure person, like myself, okay, if you need to go, bye-bye. Because if by the time you come back, I have now left that space where I was with you. See, I'm not there anymore.
It was never loved.
Now, we might be in a better place because perhaps you or I have gotten out through the cleansing, whatever we needed to get out, but I didn't hold you there. Now, women are emotional people. I'm not saying they can't do it, but where is the woman I would submit that will agree to a pause and not have the anticipation that you would return to her? And if you return to her, somewhere in the body that remembers, she is going to reflect upon what we were before you left.
I hear you.
So now if you are dealing with two people who are not secure, and the emotion of what is happening to you in the past, because the atmospheric pressure is coming, how then are you taking that back into a place where you are not and she is not the same? The whole point of the fast is to cleanse, which means you are not the same when you end that fast as you were when you started. But I cannot emotionally hold this person in a position while I go work me out and get cleansed, because I may just get cleansed of you.
Andy is like, whoa. Andy here goes, whoa.
Get the spiritual part. We're supposed to be joining together. The word says, let no man put asunder.
Let no man put asunder. Yes, I hear.
Now, if you put us asunder because you pressing pauses, well, we're going to have some problems here. And I want us to be cognizant of that. I'm not saying there are people who don't need it or who it might not work for. But we both got to agree. That's why I'm saying pause is not pause. Pause is go. But you can come back. And I can come back.
Right.
But not pause, because you have to remember you are holding the emotional space of the person in a holding pattern. We're just circling. We're not landing. And I may not be able to resist the temptations that are now coming, the atmospheric pressure, because I want bacon, and I want hamburger, and I smell barbecue, and I want ice cream. And
Right. I hear you.
I want Twinkies.
I hear you.
See, understand what you do if you say fast. Most of us are not successful except for maybe at Easter. And they're probably not doing the 40 days.
Right.
Why is that? So you gonna put that in the relationship? No.
I hear you, Nikki. I just wonder if the audience is taking all of this in. I love the perspective.
Food for thought, people. Food for thought.
Come on, Nikki. Guess what you just did? Mississippi is in the building. People are calling now. They want to talk. Now we got Carolina one in Florence, South Carolina. And then we got Ronan, Indianapolis. You already know Ronan finna act up. When we come forward, we're going to take these final calls and see what their thought is on tonight's topic. You already know Ronan finna act up, so you already know. Davy Lee said that was nice. You best protect your neck. You best protect your neck. It's the final show of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's topic. We got 2 Cash Apps, guys. And we got 4 Super Chats. To everybody that donated tonight, thank you. Thank you. You need some sleep, tapped in. I know I do. Like I said, I was up at 5 this morning. I had to go get my daughter. And she's not a morning person. So to get her turned up for the ride to Pasadena, as soon as she got in the car, I had her her Glorilla playing. And when it came on, she was like, and then I had to turn it off. I said, we're going to get a hot 35 seconds of glow. We got a hot 35 seconds of glow. Soon as she said, I was like, there we go. Then, inexplicably, gosh, I'm struggling. A gang of Chris Brown records started coming on. She was like, clock it. That's what she was saying. Clock it. I was like, oh, I don't want to hear that. She's not here now, so. What's that clip? No, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the VOR. As you already know, my playlist is my co-host. We've had a wonderful vibe all night long, playing some neo classics, man, some soul vibes. It was a good look tonight. We got a couple callers. I want to get them in because we're at the last 10 minutes of the show. We might as well get them in now. Carolina 1, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
It's gonna go. It's gonna go. What's going on, bro?
Man, I'm alive and well, man. Alive and well. How are you, brother?
Don't curse. Beautiful. Can't complain. Can't complain.
Now, Carolina 1, you know you can't curse, right?
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Okay, cool. All right.
Real quick, you know what I mean? But,
all right.
We're in a microwave society, pause and feel like you're dying. Nobody can't wait to eat another meal. You can't wait to cook it on the stove. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you in it right now, but you're getting unhealthy. So, that pause probably what you need to digest what you already got on your plate, what you done ate. Right? So, people want it so quick, you want it ASAP, you messing up. You need some patience. Like, straight up, that pause might be exactly what you in the relationship need.
I hear you. Like a fast in your body. Sometimes when you fast, it's like hitting the reset button. Everything gets flushed out, and then, you know, you back. You're refreshed. You're energized, right?
Exactly.
I like it.
Exactly. Like you thinking about the next meal, you still got food in your mouth.
He got a point. Come on. He's pro.
Digest that first,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do what you really could grow through. Like sometimes the best thing you can do in life is challenge yourself. Like you can't build muscle unless you challenge yourself.
Come on,
So,
resistance training. Let's
that's
go.
what you need a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I'm a pull out. I got a bust knee, but
Hey, man.
for talking.
I appreciate it.
Like that.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you, man. You brought South Carolina in the building. And here we go. You already know what this is about to be. Ronan from Indianapolis. Here we go. Please, Ronan. Everybody take notes. Ronan is going to be very quippy. He's got quips. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, Ronan?
It put a lot of light in what I need to do. I don't fast as I should. The ghosting part, those are the people who I find toxic. But most times I'm guilty of exercising a carnal cleanse.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And sometimes I entertain situations that don't nourish me emotionally. So it ends up leaving cavities. I end up with regrets. And I need to take that time to like really watch what I consume as far as like either my space or time or energy. And that's something I think that I need to delve deeper into in this new year. Because some people are like relationship junk food, and they're not good for you.
Relationship junk food. Can we have an example of relationship junk food?
There's some people who we always have this thing where in our carnal mind, we see the red flags, but we use them as napkins. And we go in there and partake in it, even though they are who they are. That only reflects how deprived you are as far as the right relationship nutrients.
Interesting.
So that's something I left in 2024 because that's a whole nother show in itself. But the thing is, like when I mentioned earlier, the fear of obtaining the very thing you want, only to lose it, is because of your hypervigilance due to untreated wounds and everything.
But you do know sometimes God gives you what you want in order to teach you, right?
Yeah.
Watch it. Sometimes God gives you what you want in order to teach you a lesson. Oh, you think this is going to... Oh, okay, you can have it. Oh, that's what you want? Here. And then when you get it, underwhelm sets in. Like, oh, wow. See? Sometimes you need to get exactly what you imagine so you can realize that you're not very imaginative.
I think I learned that lesson late last year. I said, yeah, you got to go back in the drawing board because what you got was a Wile E. Coyote special. That was it.
Hey, man, guess what you just did, brother? Naptown is in the building. You already know what it is. Don't weaponize the pause. While pauses can foster growth, they can also be weaponized to deflect accountability or to control the narrative. Patrick Carnes' concept of trauma bonding sheds light on how unresolved wounds can entangle partners in cycles of manipulation and avoidance. A pause, when used as a form of relational gaslighting, subtly distorts a partner's sense of security, leaving them questioning the stability of the relationship. The distinction between a pause and the silent treatment lies in intent. I always tell you, intentions speak louder than behaviors. Behaviors speak louder than words, but intention speaks louder than both of them. The former seeks clarity and growth. The latter inflicts harm under the guise of self-preservation. Avoidance, masquerading as pausing, often triggers a cascade of unhealed wounds, forcing individuals to confront their deepest insecurities. Yet, as Krishnamurti reminds us, the ability to observe without evaluation is the highest form of intelligence. Pauses, when approached mindfully, invite us to observe the stories we tell ourselves about rejection, inadequacy, and worthlessness. Pauses can be used as a catalyst for growth. In their highest form, pauses act as a portal for self-reconnection. They challenge us to confront the fears, anxieties, and unmet needs that often drive our relationship dynamics. Pema, you all know Pema? Pema Chodron's teachings on embracing discomfort emphasizes the importance of leaning into the void created by a pause. This space, right? Listen to what I'm really saying. I'm really saying you can take space while holding space for who you love. You can take space for self-love while holding space for your lover. Are you listening? Can I say it? You can take space for self-love while holding space for your lover. Listen, I love these conversations. We start them. It's up to you to finish them. This week has been a powerful week. Really quickly, I want to thank Tavis Smiley, Dominique DePrima, the First Things First show. I want to thank the church in Pasadena that was the host of the show today. A lot of people came out. Tavis posted a picture, tagged me in the picture. A lot of people have been showing love for my family, for what we're going through because of the fires. I want to take this moment to say thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And we gonna be all right. I'm gonna holler at y'all next week with a whole slew of new topics. Love y'all. Deuces. Bing, boom, bing, boom. Great show, great show, great show, great show. Love all y'all, appreciate all y'all. Number love, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. I'm Ghost. Deuces.